It's the Mike Francesa podcast on the Bet Rivers Network.
Hello again, everybody. The Mike Francesa podcast on the Bet Rivers Network is brought to you by Casamigos Tequila. Casamigos Tequila is brought to you by those who drink it. All right, Game 3 in the books, and now we have a 2-1 series with the Sixers' 125-114 win tonight in Philly. And listen, we figured it'd be a close series. It's been a very close series. The Knicks could easily be down 2-1. They needed a miracle to pull the game out. We know that. They then had an edge because the worst they could do was go back 2-2. You wondered how Philly would respond. I thought the Sixers didn't respond that well, to be honest with you, in the first half. I actually thought the Knicks had the game pretty much their way in the first half. They got a lot of good contributions. They obviously reestablished Brunson, which is the biggest thing they're going to take out of tonight's game. He was back to scoring. Now, he still took 27 shots. I understand that. But he got to the foul line, and he looked far more confident that he could get to his spots and score, that he could go to score. Now, listen, most nights, if they can keep him to shooting that many shots, they're going to be content. But he had a good game. We knew the extra day off would help Embiid. He goes 40 minutes. He scores 50 points. All right? He goes 19 of 21 from the foul line. Robinson being injured hurt. Obviously, Hartenstein got in foul trouble. They don't have an answer for him anyway. Nobody in the league has an answer for him offensively. With his touch on the foul line and his mid-range game, nobody has an answer for him offensively. He averages a point a minute. So he's going to do that. Tonight he gets 50 points. I mean, you get 50 points in a playoff game, that's impressive. And the Knicks let this thing get away from them in the third quarter where, they blinked. And Maxey, who had a weird game, had that flurry. They got a little separate. They got even. They got a little separation. Then Lowry made a couple of baskets. You sandwich in all the stuff Embiid was doing. And the next thing you know, it goes from Knicks up a couple to the Sixers up 13. And the Sixers were able to distance that by basically having Embiid do whatever he needed to do, parade him to the foul line, and get just enough. I thought the role players would do better for the Sixers tonight. They did, but it was a mixed bag. I still, for the Sixers, think to win this series, they need two things. They need Embiid to be this good on days where he doesn't have the extra day off. He does have the extra day off going to Sunday. After Sunday, I will check to make sure, but I do not believe after Sunday he gets the third day again. I don't think he does. So he gets it for Sunday, and that'll be a problem. Then they play Tuesday. They play Thursday. They play Saturday. So he does not get any more threes. He got 3 days before Game 3, gets 3 days before Game 4. He does not get the extra game, the extra day, the 2 days off versus 1 day off. He's only going to have 1 day off in between games. So he's going to play the second day. This game, he played the third day. Sunday, he plays the third day. After Game 4, he's going to have to play 1 day off in between. That's going to be tough. Travel, 2 games on the road, and wear down. The Knicks have got to do the things they did. In the first half, what did the Knicks do? They got Brunson off, check. They got some transitions and baskets, check. They got to the foul line, check. They made their threes, check. They got a lot of contributions from different people, check. What they not do in the second half? They gave up the 3 advantage. They gave up the foul line advantage. And Embiid just destroyed them. Maxey throws in 25. But I think for Philly to win this series, they have got to find a third guy that they can feel comfortable can do some scoring in this series, and they haven't found that. Tonight, Oubre gave him 15 points. He had a couple of easy layups, dunks, cheap baskets, made a couple of threes. They didn't get it from Harris again. I thought they would get it from Harris in this game. They didn't. They got 9 points from Lowry, which is okay. They didn't get it from Batum. They did get a lift from Payne, who hit 2 big threes in the second quarter, had 8 points in the second, had one more big three in the game, hit 3 or 4 from 3, and those were big because they're getting nothing out of Hield. Hield is a guy who's made his living on being a three-point shooter. He's been worthless in this series. He's got 1 basket in 3 games. Now they're going to go to Payne. Payne is not afraid to score. He's not afraid to shoot. They need somebody to be consistent from 3 and to be consistent as a third scorer. They don't have that. They got 50 from Embiid and 25 from Maxey. They need somebody else, or they're not going to win this series, even with Embiid's heroics. Because the Knicks have got to feel over 6 or 7 games they're going to wear Embiid down. Now, Embiid knew he couldn't lose tonight. And I'll tell you something. He better be careful. He got very angry early in the game. He got on the officials. And the play with Robinson was such a cheap shot, dirty play, non-basketball play. He's got to watch it. He could get himself in hot water with that play. Because Robinson gets hurt on that play, and he could get himself in a lot of hot water. He's got to keep his. They need him so much. And I understand he had 3 fouls in the first game, didn't get another foul the rest of the game. And he stayed in the game. And he gave him 40 minutes. It was the first time he's played 40 minutes since he's come back. Because they knew they had to win tonight. Well, they have to win again Sunday. To win the series, they have to win again Sunday. And then they turn it into a best of 3. With him now on shorter rest, with him now playing more games, more minutes, and having it take its toll. And then the Knicks have got to do the things that work against him. Run him. Put extra bodies on him. Use all 3 bodies against them. That works. They've gotten good performance. They got a good performance again from Hartenstein tonight. He gave him a good performance. Gave him 14 points. He makes that little, toss shot. He makes it all the time. OG gave him a good game. He made 3 or 4 from 3. Hart continues to be amazing. He's shooting 50% from 3 in the series. He's knocked down big shot after big shot. He didn't have a big game on the backboards tonight, but he did play 43 minutes. He had 20 points. He's averaging 20 points a game in this series. So they got a good game from Hartenstein. They got a good game from OG. They got a good game from Hart, like always. And they got a big game from Brunson, who had 39 points. Embiid, obviously, is a force offensively. When you got a guy on the other team who can get 50 points in 40 minutes, he's a force. They know that. Maxey didn't have a great game tonight, but he made some really big baskets for them in big spots. And he had 25 points, and he didn't score down the stretch because he didn't have to. He did not have to. But they still need to uncover a third scorer. For the Knicks have got to be smarter on how they play him. Now, Robinson's got to be healthy. I would use all 3 bigs, and I would start to really make them. In Game 4, I would make this adjustment if I'm Tibbs. I am going to make Embiid give up the basketball in the first half of Game 4. I am going to make somebody else on that team. I'm going to play Maxey tight, and I'm going to hit him with the double team, and I'm going to make him make somebody else score. Because I don't know where it's coming from on this team. There's nobody they can really count on. You know, in this series, they're getting a ton of points from two players. Maxi's had 33, 34, and 25. Embiid's been high 20s, mid 30s, and 50. Make somebody else have to score, and let's see how that works. And I wouldn't save that till game 5, okay? I would not save it until that's 2-2. Try and take advantage of the free game Sunday. You can be a little bold with that game Sunday and try and steal it. Because if you steal it, you change the whole complexion of the series and you make it a series that tilts completely to you rather than best of 3 with them having an MVP-type player on the floor. You still see some good things from the Knicks. The Knicks have more people they can count on than the Sixers do, but the Sixers have the two big scorers. The Knicks' first scorers showed up tonight. That was positive. Okay, that was a distinct positive. But Embiid gets 50 points on 19 baskets. 19 attempts. Brunson gets 39 on 27 attempts. That's a big difference. Obviously, Embiid made his threes tonight. He made 5 out of 7. They were way behind. In the first half, they were way behind the Knicks from 3. They wind up out shooting the Knicks from 3. Knicks wind up with 13 threes. They wind up with 15 threes. In the first half, the Knicks were 7 of 14 from 3. They were 5 of 16. So in the second half, they shoot 10 of 15 from 3. That and Embiid parading to the foul line in the second half. First half, the first half, the Sixers were 3 of 7 from the foul line. The Knicks were 12 of 14. That's a +9. In the second half, they were 25 of 20, 25 of 26 from the foul line. And the Knicks were 1 for 5. So you see where the game was lost in the second half? First half, Knicks outscored them by 9 on the foul line. Second half, they outscored the Knicks by 25 on the foul line. 25. Plus, they beat them up from 3. Beat them up from 3, beat them up on the foul line, which is how they wind up scoring 70 points in the second half. That's a big second half. 43-27. Knicks win the other 3 quarters, 29-27, 29-28, 29-27, all close, but they win the third quarter, 43-27. High-scoring game all the way around. Well, yeah, there were a bunch of free throws shot. There were a lot of them threes made. One team made 13, one team made 15. But Knicks had a 9-point edge on the foul line in the first half, and then in the second half, just Embiid parades to the foul line and goes for the game 19 of 21. 19 of 21 from the foul line. I mean, that's outrageous. And Payne made his threes, and Oubre made a couple of threes, and Embiid made 5 of 7 threes. I mean, that's a big, big difference. So, hey, nobody thought the Knicks were going to sweep this series. And frankly, I didn't think the Knicks would win tonight. And I still think there's a very, very strong chance that this series is going back with him having 3 days off. This series is going back 2-2. And in the beginning, I picked it in 7, and I wouldn't be surprised if it goes 7. Sixers are a good team, and obviously they were a great team with him in the lineup this year. Before this series, they were 31-8 with him in the lineup. Now, he gets chippy. He better watch it. And the thing that grabs me is they have got to get somebody to score that they can count on, that they can believe in. They have Maxey, absolutely. They need a third guy. And none of them really fill the bill. It could be one of them. I mean, on paper, it's Harris. Lowry's not going to score a whole lot of points. Oubre had 50, but he's not going to score a whole lot of points either. Payne, I mean, he gave him some points tonight. He gave him a lift, getting 11 points in a couple of minutes in the game. I don't know how many minutes. I have to look how many minutes he played. I don't think he played that many minutes, maybe 14 or so in the game. But they got a good game out of him tonight. He played 15 minutes. He scored 11 points. That was a good lift. Those 2 threes he made in the third quarter mattered. They really did. So now it's 2-1. Game 4 is Sunday afternoon. Embiid will have the extra day to rest again. It made a difference tonight. He went 40 minutes. Game was very chippy early. And I thought when he didn't get the reversal on the block charge on Robinson, which I thought was a good call, and he's got 3 fouls, I thought, oh, I didn't think they'd leave him in the game there. They did. They left him in the game, and you know what? He came down 2 possessions after that and pushed off and got an offensive rebound. They're not going to give him his 4th foul there at that point. Plus, a lot of the whistles didn't go Sixers' way in the first half. I thought the Knicks played a really strong first half. They should have had a big lead. They're getting more contributions from more places. They're getting more contributions they can count on, a lot more. But they're getting it in a big way from 2 places. I mean, tonight they get 75 points. They're averaging a lot of points per game between the 2 of them. So, 2-1. We'll see you Sunday. No big shock. No big surprise. If you're going to take one thing out of the game tonight for the Knicks, it's really 2. 1, we got to make some adjustments on Embiid. Have to make some adjustments on him. And you got to be very happy, really overjoyed that Brunson has reemerged because they needed that in a big way. And he was far more comfortable tonight. He was very hesitant and very frustrated at the Garden. He was far more comfortable tonight. Was it enough? Hey, they scored plenty of points tonight. Their problem was they got hit for a 50. And they got clobbered in the second half from 3 and clobbered on the foul line. And that was the difference. Sometimes you tip your cap to an MVP player when he puts up 50 points in 40 minutes. We'll see you Sunday. A lot more. But they're getting it in a big way from 2 places. I mean, tonight they get 75 points. They're averaging a lot of points per game between the 2 of them. So, 2-1. We'll see you Sunday. No big shock. No big surprise. If you're going to take one thing out of the game tonight for the Knicks, it's really 2. 1, we got to make some adjustments on Embiid. Have to make some adjustments on him. And you got to be very happy, really overjoyed that Brunson has reemerged because they needed that in a big way. And he was far more comfortable tonight. He was very hesitant and very frustrated at the Garden. He was far more comfortable tonight. Was it enough? Hey, they scored plenty of points tonight. Their problem was they got hit for a 50, and they got clobbered in the second half from three and clobbered on the foul line. And that was the difference. Sometimes you tip your cap to an MVP player when he puts up 50 points in 40 minutes. We'll see you Sunday.
Thanks for listening to the Mike Francesa podcast on the Bet Rivers Network.